Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're invited into, well, a really poignant and personal set of writings. They're excerpts from a narrative called Arunava Dutta, A Hidden Life in Pages. Our journey, really, is to experience the raw, unfiltered, emotional uh, unfolding of a secret inner world, discovered through a diary found under just the most tragic circumstances you can imagine. It's a profound look at how much we think we know someone.
Yeah, and what's immediately striking is how this narrative forces you to sort of reevaluate perception itself. We get
Yeah.
this incredibly intimate view, through eyes of a woman whose world has just been completely shattered. And it reveals these intricate layers of personality, the silent pain that can hide beneath a, well, seemingly composed surface. It really challenges our assumptions.
Okay, let's dig into this. It's a really powerful story, and it starts right at a moment of absolute crisis. So we open on this scene of just raw distress. A woman, her hands are clean, but her shirt is stained with blood. She collapses onto a couch after bringing Arunava Dutta, the love of her life apparently, to the hospital. She feels like death, tears caught in this chokehold of shock, of pain. Her legs are numb, she's stumbling. The police told her to go home, but she just can't. She's consumed by this fear of losing him.
And this initial context is so vital, isn't it? It sets up this incredibly charged emotional landscape. Finding the diary isn't just, a plot point. It's particularly impactful because it happens right at that moment of physical collapse, of emotional vulnerability. It's almost like a literal fall leads to this profound psychological revelation, like the universe is forcing her to see something deeper right then.
Right. So in this state, she stumbles, catches her foot on a bag she'd thrown aside earlier, and as she drops to the floor, this diary just peeks out. Even though she's in absolutely no state to read, she picks it up. Inside, in red and black ink, his name, Arunava Dutta. She clutches it to her chest, and finally, the tears start to escape. Her mind's just blank, like a hollow shell, and then she opens it, first page. And that very first entry, it immediately sets the tone for Arunava's private world. He admits he's not a big fan of writing or keeping a diary, says he prefers memory. He even questions if he's an introvert or maybe just weird. But the key thing, what really jumps out, is why he's writing. He says, I'm just going to use this diary to write down the thoughts I can't say out loud, the ones that eat me alive or the ones that sound too crazy to share.
That need for a secret outlet.
Mm-hmm.
It really speaks to that split between the curated self and the authentic self, doesn't it? It highlights how many people, especially those who seem really put together, carry these significant internal burdens alone.
Yeah.
'Cause maybe society doesn't make space for that kind of vulnerability.
He goes on, questioning his identity. I'm not even sure I have one. Not really. I have a name and a body, yes, but I don't know if that's me. Sometimes it feels like an illusion, like I'm far less bound than anyone thinks. He dismisses depression or PTSD, but says he's lived and suffered, and he wrestles with what he calls the saddest part. Realizing everything bad that ever happened to you might have been your fault, and not being able to accept that.
That's a really deep philosophical struggle he's outlining there. Self-perception, responsibility, and that line, your mind and body don't age at the same speed, that's incredibly insightful, isn't it? It hints at this maturity of thought maybe outpacing his physical years, even while he's grappling with this profound self-blame. It's a classic internal conflict, really. The mind wrestling with agency, culpability, even as he ends on this note of acceptance. Like, you just have to learn how to accept things.
And her reaction, the woman reading this, it's crucial. She just exhales, closes the diary for a second, shocked, realizing the man she always thought was mature, put together, someone who had it all figured out, he had been hiding a sea of pain all along, just wow. Then she opens it again to a random page, and we find this whole other side of Arunava. He writes, it's hard for me to express love, maybe because I didn't receive much of it. He calls love a feeling, not something you can measure.
And that detail about his difficulty expressing love maybe stemming from his own past.
Yeah.
It gives us a really important lens for what comes next, doesn't it? It sets up this contrast between, his internal capacity for deep feeling and his maybe outward struggle to show it.
And then the big one. And Mukta Keshi Mukherjee. I've liked her for 8 years, but I don't know if I love her. He remembers feeling jealous when she got a boyfriend way back when, but still. He remembers feeling jealous when she got a boyfriend way back when, but still. He just wanted her to be happy. He believed she deserved someone better, someone who wasn't me.
That's such a striking contrast, isn't it? A man who feels he doesn't deserve love, yet he holds on to this feeling for almost a decade. And he prioritizes her happiness over his own desires. It speaks to this remarkable selflessness, a kind of quiet devotion that you just wouldn't see on the surface.
And the woman Muktakeshi, she cries reading this. She remembers they'd only reconnected last year. She thinks about his consistent kindness, his quiet nature, his honesty, how he'd listen, tell the truth even when it hurt. And then she flashes back to his confession from their higher secondary years. Hi, I love you. I'm sorry. I know you're in a relationship. I just couldn't hold it in anymore. I'm not asking you for anything. I just wanted to say it. I hope it doesn't make things awkward. My hands are shaking. I'm sorry. She apparently laughed at the time. But now, now she sees the raw vulnerability. And she recognizes that even at that age, he had been more mature than most adults. So what does this do to her understanding of their whole past?
That's such a profound point. It speaks to those layers of self-protection people build up, you know. His confession, which she maybe dismissed as just an awkward teenage thing, suddenly it's this powerful key. It unlocks an understanding of his character, not just maturity, but maybe this deep, enduring capacity for love, even if it was unrequited, kept totally secret for years. It forces you and her to re-examine all those past interactions through this completely new light.
Then the narrative takes another turn, quite a dark one. She flips to an entry titled, very starkly, "If I had to suggest my punishment to God."
Yeah, that heading alone is chilling. It signals this profound internal crisis, right? A huge departure from the quiet, composed man she thought she knew. It's a window into a kind of self-condemnation that can be utterly hidden.
He confesses, "I know I've made a lot of mistakes, starting with not studying for my 10th, but then it just spirals into self-annihilation. I wish everyone would forget me. I'm good for nothing. God, kill me, burn me until even my soul disappears. No me, no memory, nothing left." He says he can't cry, but it hurts. There's a mountain on my chest. He actually envies people who can cry easily.
And this entry, it profoundly reshapes how she and how you listening perceive his public face. If you connect it to the bigger picture, it highlights this immense internal suffering, this feeling of worthlessness he carried, almost certainly in secret. And that inability to cry despite the pain, that's a common marker of deep emotional suppression, isn't it? It forces us to think about how people can hold such despair inside while showing a completely different face to the world.
Her reaction is telling, too. She couldn't cry either, not now. She thinks about him, always smiling, always composed, and she wonders, who would have thought he carried such darkness at 16? She feels, maybe for the first time in the 8 months they reconnected, that she didn't know him. Not really. At all. But then the deep dive shifts dramatically. The last entry written just 20 days before. Everything. And it's just a beacon of pure joy. "I think I'm blessed." Mukta said yes. "It feels like a dream. I'm so happy I could dance on my toes." He reveals, "She said she loves me. She does."
Wow, that sudden burst of happiness, especially right after those dark entries. It just beautifully underscores the incredible emotional range he had inside. It's a powerful testament, really, to the transformative power of finally getting that reciprocal love after years of hidden longing and self-doubt.
He describes his dreams for them. "Now I'll give her everything I ever dreamed of giving someone. I want to cook for her, dance with her, take her to candlelight dinners, erase every ounce of loneliness she's ever felt." He feels it's everything I ever waited for, even though, he notes, we just met yesterday and she confessed her feelings. Which must refer to their recent reconnection, right? He ends wanting to hug her tight and never let go. And despite being so happy, he feels like crying. The woman, Mukta, she smiles through her tears reading this, just whispers, "You idiot." And she remembered asking him once, what kind of boyfriend he'd be. His answer was really unique. He said, "I'm not here to make someone mine. That feels like ownership. She'll be free, always. Our relationship would be open, no restrictions from my side. If we can share every secret, it'll work. Marriage isn't the goal. We'll be friends, and I'll never let her feel caged or alone. If she ever wants to walk away, I won't stop her. Love isn't a binding contract."
And that's a crucial aha moment, isn't it? It connects right back to his earliest entries. This vision of love built on freedom, friendship, shared secrets, not ownership or traditional goals like marriage. It reveals this deep, mature, and remarkably unconventional understanding of connection. It perfectly fits with his earlier thoughts about feeling less bound, and it offers this philosophical counterpoint to the self-blame he also carried. It suggests maybe he wanted a relationship that mirrored the internal freedom he craved.
But just as she's processing this profound insight into his philosophy, there's a knock at the door. Back to the grim present, a nurse leads her to the ICU.
Yeah, that abrupt shift back to the hospital, it really reinforces the tragedy unfolding in real time, doesn't it? It highlights how these incredibly personal, almost posthumous revelations are colliding with a very uncertain reality of his life hanging in the balance. Makes the emotional stakes just so much higher.
The doctor explains the situation is dire. Mr. Dutta is in a temporary coma. What looked like a minor injury was actually a midline shift and a hemorrhagic contusion, serious brain injury. The prognosis, uncertain. We can't say when or if he'll wake up. The doctor tells her she should probably go home, but you hear her response, defiant. Thank you, doctor, but I'll stay. She's a mess, tangled hair, tear-streaked face, the stained shirt, but she's still clutching that diary. She sits beside the ICU and finally just lets herself crumble, holding the diary to her chest, tears falling freely.
That final image is so incredibly powerful, so symbolic. The diary, this window into his hidden life, it's become her anchor, her comfort in this immense uncertainty. It represents not just his past, but maybe the only tangible connection she has left to him in this present moment while he's unconscious. It's an intimacy she never fully grasped when he was awake.
So this deep dive into Arunava Dutta, a hidden life in pages, it's just such a powerful reminder of the incredible complexity beneath the surface of everyone, maybe especially those we think we know best.
It really makes you consider how often the quietest people carry the deepest oceans of emotion. From profound suffering and self-doubt right through to immense joy and this really unconventional understanding of love and connection. It's a real testament to those internal worlds we rarely get to see.
Yeah, this story really makes us wonder, doesn't it? What hidden lives might the people you know be carrying? What unspoken thoughts might be, well, eating them alive or sounding too crazy for them to share? And how might your understanding deepen if you could somehow see that full spectrum of their inner world, even if it's only through unexpected, sometimes tragic circumstances like this?
It leaves us with that poignant question, really.
hmm
How much can we ever truly know another person? And what's the profound impact of finally uncovering those depths, sometimes only when it feels almost too late to bridge that gap in understanding?
Thank you for diving deep with us today. We really